Holy Land soldier Ning Ye accidentally binds a Styx Blood Sea, which can condense a $12 trillion blood droplet clone. Each blood droplet clone can not only cultivate for him, but also cross the gates of the heavens, offer sacrifices in various forbidden areas, and gain powerful abilities. For the first time, the blood droplet clone brought back the origin of the innate chaotic dominance. The second time, bring back Emperor Luo's heavy pupils. For the third time, bring back the divine elephant town prison merit and the 9-character secret without any deficiencies. For the fourth time, bring back the swallowing heavenly demon jar, the 6 paths reincarnation fist, and his transformation into self-care. When Ning Ye thought this was the limit, he realized that he would never die. The 12 trillion blood droplet clone, as long as there is still one in the world, it can transform into its true form at any time and never perish. So while Ning Ye was practicing, he condensed the blood droplet Z clone and practiced, making him invincible. Chapter 1. The Sea of Blood in the Styx, a $12 trillion blood droplet clone. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Taichu Holy Land. In the sky above the Shenyang Palace, suddenly a bright rainbow descended from the sky, and divine clouds filled the sky. Countless celestial phenomena and divine forms, like the great road hymn, resound through the void. The 10 elders of the Holy Land, horrified and changing their colors, scan the 4 directions. Could it be that my primordial Holy Land is finally about to have the heavenly pride descend? They mobilize their divine power, search for the Holy Land, and seek to find the extraordinary genius. At the beginning of the Holy Land, we really need good news now. The major powers and giants of the 3,000 realms, gazing at the Holy Land from afar, express their emotions. Does Taichu Holy Land still have a chance to be annexed by the Holy Demon Palace? The Holy Land has declined, and even if there is a heavenly pride descending, it may not be able to be cultivated. Shenyang Palace North Courtyard, Back Garden. On both sides of the side door. 10 guard soldiers, 9 of whom were drowsy, with crooked helmets and a lazy attitude. Only the boy on the far right, with starry eyes and bright eyes. He reminded his companions. Keep your spirits up, something may happen. My companions immediately sneered. Relax, Captain Ning, our Holy Land has long declined. Apart from our archenemy's Holy Demon Palace, who else takes us seriously? Anyway, our qualifications are incomparable to those arrogant people. It's better to live comfortably. The companions were lazily complaining and not seeking self-improvement. Ning Ye's eyebrows furrowed slightly. In the upper realm, talents are also graded. Ordinary people, geniuses, heavenly pride, unparalleled heavenly pride, taboo heavenly pride, sage, Taoist. Sometimes the gap between genius and genius can be so great that it can suffocate in despair. These people who can only be garden gatekeepers have natural talents that are not much stronger, and they can almost see their heads for a lifetime. But who would have thought that they were once the dominant figures in the lower world, standing at the peak of their power? And Ning Ye is also one of them. He was originally a martial arts genius in the lower world, and in just 10 years, he shattered the void and soared. But I didn't expect it. Flying from the lower realm to the upper realm, due to the drastic changes in the rules of heaven and earth, the cultivation level drops sharply. Even the top players in the lower world will fall to the worst level after soaring. Ning Ye, who is invincible in the lower realm, can only barely become a soldier watching the gate when he arrives in the upper realm. Many ascending beings cannot bear such a gap, and their Tao heart collapses. But the huge drop did not crush Ning Ye. He worked diligently for 2.5 years and finally reached the position of captain of a team of 10. The only motivation that supported him was, he wants to pick up his younger siblings. My younger sister is suffering from a terminal illness. Ning Ye tried every means possible, but there is still no medicine to cure her and she can only wait for death. Helpless, he had no choice but to place his hopes on the upper realm. After arranging everything, he flew up 3,000 realms to search for an immortal doctor and save his sister in the lower realm. However, in order to return to the lower realm, one must teleport through the cross-border ancient formation, but only true disciples of the Holy Land are eligible to use the cross-border ancient formation. Ning Ye urgently wants to become an official disciple of the Taichu Holy Land. If I can find the heavenly pride or discover the source of the illusion, with this credit, I should be able to become an official disciple. Ning Ye has inquired about several ways to become a disciple of the Holy Land. 1 relies on talent, 2 on merit, and 3 on background. Talent and background are impossible for him, becoming a captain is all thanks to his diligent and hard-working efforts. The only way is to rely on credit. Now is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As for why even the elder of the Holy Land couldn't find any clues, it was not within Ning Ye's consideration to do so. He just needs to find it. If you find it, there is a slim chance. Don't look, there's not even a chance. In the evening. At the end of the shift, Ning Ye decisively handed over his shift and refused the invitation from his companions to listen to music and play, heading straight to the dormitory. After quickly changing clothes, he grabbed his identity token and left the door. Ning Ye started by looking for the most familiar backyard. There are more than 10 Taoist palaces in the Taichu Holy Land, and Shenyang Palace is one of them. Ning Ye is located in the smallest Jinyang Palace. Jinyang Palace is divided into 4 courtyards, with the east and west courtyards being the main courtyards and the north and south courtyards being side courtyards. Ning Ye started by looking for this landscape garden in the north courtyard. Always found late at night. He just dragged his tired body back to the entrance of the dormitory. He is almost mentally overdrawn. But they got nothing. The 4 companions were already snoring like thunder, and the sound reached Ning Ye's ears through the doors and windows, causing her to feel restless for no reason. When can I return to the lower world? Damn it. If I had known I wouldn't have found anything, I'll still look. How can I know if there's no chance without trying? Ning Ye let out a bitter smile and pushed open the door wearily. Then he couldn't help but stand still. On the open space in the center of the 5-person dormitory, there is a drop of blood floating. It is the size of a pigeon egg, with a body full of crimson color. Surrounded by blood droplets are circles of eerie blood-red symbols, exuding a demonic aura. It is like a blood-red little sun, suspended in front of Ning Ye. What the hell is that? Ning Ye's vigilant heart raised the question, is it possible that the demons from the Holy Demon Palace are invading? Glancing at the 4 people sleeping soundly, shouldn't it be these 4 bastards playing pranks? Ning Ye looked cautiously at the blood droplets. But before he could make any further plans, the blood droplets swooshed and didn't enter Ning Ye's eyebrows. Ning Ye's mind roared and she fell backwards, fainting. Before fainting, his last thought in his mind was, I've been scheming. I can't die, I have to go back to the lower world, take back the 2nd and 3rd. When he woke up, he appeared above a boundless sea of blood. The sea of blood seemed to communicate with the underworld, with countless ancient demons and ferocious beasts, tumbling over the river and roaring mournfully, trying to break free from the constraints of the sea of blood. But the sea of blood is like living creatures, rolling blood turns into ferocious tentacles, striking 10 directions and dragging them all into the dark sea of blood. Ning Ye calmly looked around. Over the endless sea of blood, there hangs a square measuring 10 meters. In the center of the square stands a miraculous blood-colored portal, echoing the aura of spatial laws. I'll go, what the hell? Next to the mysterious door, there was a young man sitting across the table, all red, just like Ning Ye. Are you? Without waiting for Ning Ye to finish speaking, the blood-red clone suddenly flew and integrated into Ning Ye's body. A large amount of information exploded in Ning Ye's mind. He is my blood droplet clone. That mysterious blood bead is the ceremony of recognizing the master of the Styx River space. Ning Ye understood everything. In the space of the Styx River, he can condense his blood droplet clone from the endless sea of blood in the Styx River through cultivation. These blood droplet clones can automatically cultivate, attack, and comprehend martial arts, and all gains can be fed back to Ning Ye as the main body. What's even more exaggerated is that the blood droplet clone can also pass through the gate of the heavens, above the sea of blood, go to various places in the heavens to offer sacrifices, and obtain powerful divine skills, magical methods, and various adventures. And even more incredible is, he seems to have gained immortality. The endless Styx river can condense 12 trillion blood droplet clones. As long as there is still a blood droplet clone in the world, Ning Ye can transform it into a body at any time. This is almost equivalent to immortality. Chapter 2. Innate Chaotic Dominance. Emperor's Tool Taichu Divine Bell. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The main hall of Shenyang Palace. The 9 elders of the Holy Land are all seated, with a slightly distressed expression on their faces. They dug through the depths of the primordial Holy Land, but couldn't find the source of that vision, or the genius of the world. Is it really the heavenly blessing of the primordial Holy Land? Tomorrow there will be a sect inspection, and every disciple from top to bottom in the Holy Land will undergo inspection. Whether it is the birth of treasures or geniuses, we must dig out the source of the illusion. Holy Demon Palace. The Holy Demon Hall was filled with laughter and joy. The group of waste in the Holy Land haven't even found the source of the illusion, they have declined. The primordial divine clock has not been able to detect a genius for many years. Without a decent descendant, the Holy Land is destined to decline and is not worthy of being my opponent in the Holy Demon Palace. 19 elders and law enforcement elders, go tomorrow and cause trouble to the Holy Land. In no time, our Holy Demon Palace will become a holy land and completely annex Mount Taichu. Follow the orders of the Palace Master. The changes in the outside world are completely unknown to Ning Ye. Because at the moment he integrated into the first blood droplet clone, his cultivation skyrocketed. The 3rd day after tomorrow, breakthrough. The 4th day after tomorrow, breakthrough. The 5th day after tomorrow, breakthrough. Congenital priority, breakthrough. Congenital second tier, breakthrough. In an instant, Ning Ye was filled with explosive power. How could this be possible? Ning Ye's eyes lit up. He was born with the 2nd level, a realm he had fantasized about countless times in his dreams. Chen He, the commander of the Ning Ye patrol and in charge of the 3,000 soldiers in the northern court, is the 1st level of the innate realm. It is said that it took him a full 10 years to break through from the 5th level acquired to the 1st level innate. But Ning Ye only took a few breaths and leaped to the innate realm in one fell swoop. What an abnormal cultivation speed. What surprised Ning Ye even more was that the minimum requirement for a formal disciple of the Holy Land was a level 1 innate realm. As long as he becomes an official disciple, he is qualified to use the cross-border ancient town. In the Styx space. After Ning Ye's cultivation was improved, the first blood droplet clone in her body suddenly flew out and headed straight towards the mysterious, heavenly portal, disappearing into it in a flash. I'm curious about what I'll get from my first sacrifice. Ning Ye's eyes were filled with anticipation, with a gentle movement. Boom! An invisible aura erupted from around him in an instant, sweeping across the entire room. The 4 roommates who were originally asleep were all startled and sat up on the ground. Captain, did you break through? This aura is so strong. Captain, have you stepped into nature? All 4 teammates looked at Ning Ye incredulously. What happened to Ning Ye the night before, when everyone was still stuck in the triple realm the day after tomorrow? How could she even ascend to the 5 realms? Yesterday's anomaly, shouldn't it be because of you from Ning team? Is the captain a peerless genius who finally woke up yesterday? Everyone's tone was sour and their expressions varied. Ning Ye's heart twitched, feeling that admitting it was not a bad thing. To become a genius, one can at least benefit from the resources of the Holy Land and receive protection from the upper echelons, ensuring safety. The most important thing is that the higher his status, the more he is valued. After taking over his younger siblings, the more shelter and care he can provide them with. That's right, I awakened a powerful talent. That vision. Before Ning Ye could finish speaking, the door was pushed open with a clang. Gather quickly. The source of the illusion has been found, and it turns out to be a genius awakened at the level of unparalleled pride. That genius has already acknowledged it, and the leader and elders are all overjoyed. Let's gather everyone. Fart it. It's clear that Ning Ye is the pride of heaven. That's it. Ning Ye rose 5 levels overnight, straight into his innate world. Is there any more demonic talent than him? My teammate said. Ning Ye's eyebrows furrowed slightly. Is there more than one source of the illusion? Is there another person who, like me, also got a chance encounter? Qilin Square. The disciples of the Taichu Holy Land looked enviously at a young man in blue. He had a proud expression on his face, as if the sky was shining with pride and he looked down upon everything. It is the self-proclaimed genius, Chen Ran. He believed himself to be an unparalleled talent and awakened his divine body. But straight ahead. The 9 elders of the Holy Land, however, have not come to a conclusion. Their eyes were filled with heat, but their gaze remained calm as they surveyed the young man in blue. If it were indeed this sun, the imperial artifact of my holy land, the Taichu Divine Bell, would finally resound once again in the world. The imperial tool Taichu Divine Bell has extraordinary supernatural powers. Only the most stunning genius is qualified to ring the divine bell. The louder the bell, the higher the talent. In the crowd. Ning Ye looked at Tianzhao Chen Ran with a slight frown and said, is it really him or me, the true genius? No matter what, we must not miss this opportunity. I need to achieve the name of Tianzhao and gain recognition from the upper class. Only in this way can we obtain the right to use the cross-border ancient formation and retrieve our younger brothers and sisters. At this moment, Ning Ye discovered that there was movement and stillness in the space of the Styx River. In the sky above the Styx River, the disappearing blood droplet clone sat in front of the gates of the heavens. Beside him, there is a purple light ball, with a chaotic aura swirling and steaming, and 9 divine forms condensing but not dispersing. There are Kunpeng Divine Form, True Dragon Dharma Body, Phoenix Feather Wings, Big Bell Dao Body, Underworld Blood Immortal Spear. Ning Ye's gaze met the clone of Blood Droplet, and a multitude of images suddenly appeared in her heart. The Blood Droplet clone flashed out from the gate of the heavens and appeared on a chaotic and desolate ancient star. This ancient star is shrouded in chaotic energy, with divine blood flowing on the earth, purple light soaring into the sky, and its dominance boiling. The clone of Blood Droplets transformed into a divine offering talisman, with a mysterious and desolate sacrificial voice echoing throughout the ancient ancestral land. The entire ancient star burns with a blazing divine light, offering runes flowing, sweeping through all directions of purple and devouring chaotic energy. With a final bang. On the divine offering talisman, a primordial light sphere appears with purple air swirling and chaotic air intertwined. Ning Ye suddenly woke up from the picture and her eyes lit up. This is the origin of the innate chaotic dominance. As long as it is fused, it can awaken the innate chaotic dominance. There are various special constitutions in the world, known as the 3000 Great Paths body. Each special constitution contains incredible power. The innate chaotic dominance is a dual fusion of the innate chaotic dominance and the celestial dominance. Chaos body, a legendary unparalleled divine body favored by the Tao, is born close to the Tao and is undoubtedly the first divine body among the 3000 constitutions. And the heavenly body is even more invincible in close combat, naturally equipped with 9 divine forms, capable of being on par with the legendary ancient holy body of invincibility in close combat. But compared to the ancient holy body suppressed by heaven and earth in this era, the heavenly dominance body still has a huge advantage. It is completely unaffected by the laws of heaven and earth. Along the way to great success, one possesses the terrifying power to challenge the current emperor. The fusion of these two unparalleled constitutions can be said to have created an unparalleled divine body for Ning Ye. With this talent, why worry about not being able to make a big splash? I am a disciple of the Holy Land Tianzhou, I am determined. Ning Ye was pleasantly surprised and saw hope to retrieve her younger siblings. At this moment, the elder Chuangong shouted. Please, Emperor. Space cracking, golden light shining brightly. Bell after bell, the divine glow rises to the sky, and the imprint of the great road lingers on it, descending upon this realm. Disciple Chen Ran stepped forward. Chen Ran looked at the bell with fiery eyes. Emperor's artifact, the primordial divine bell. If one can recognize their master, wouldn't it be like taking a step to the sky? With my talent, it's as easy as a palm to take the initiative to recognize the master. Chapter 3. Awakening of the Divine Body. Worship of all saints. The emperors are soaring in the sky. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chen Ran, full of confidence, came to the primordial divine bell. Chen Ran, give this bell a full blow and it will showcase your talent. The elder Chuangong was gentle and down to earth, with expectations in his eyes. Ning Ye's eyes were slightly fixed, and she also looked at Chen Ran. Chen Ran punched the Taichu Dao Zhong with a powerful punch, and his spiritual energy surged. He is full of confidence and even worried that he might break this clock. However, the fist power had not yet hit the Emperor Bell, and the invisible Dao Yun swept out, instantly dissipating most of Chen Ran's fist power. Only a small part of the punch force barely hit the Emperor Bell, hum. The Dao Zhong only shook lightly, hummed softly, and fell silent instantly. Just one sound. With a loud sound, I can barely be considered a heavenly pride, but not an unparalleled one. Elder Chuangong cannot conceal his disappointment. There are also strengths and weaknesses in talent, from low to high, which can be divided into 7 levels. Ordinary person, genius, heavenly pride, unparalleled heavenly pride, taboo heavenly pride, sage, and Taoist. Ordinary people cannot approach Dao Zhong at all. Genius level, able to approach Dao Zhong and withstand breath without retreating. At the level of Tianzhou, it is possible to ring the Dao Zhong, but at most it is only a slight sound. Chen Ran clearly belongs to the ranks of Tianzhou, and there is a gap from what the elders expected. Elders and others cannot conceal their disappointment. Elder Chuangong glanced at Chen Ran and encouraged him, saying, "The performance is pretty good, let's go on and remember to practice well." Chen Ran had a bewildered expression on his face. Is it true that he is a top-notch genius and not me? He returned to the crowd somewhat disheartened. Ha, this is just a heavenly pride level, and it's worth the preparation of the Taichu Holy Land. The 9 elders will come out together. What a great joke. 2 figures emerged from the void. It is the 19 elders of the Holy Demon Palace and the law enforcement elders. They were like a day and a month, with a majestic and surging momentum that made it difficult for all the disciples in the room to breathe. The 9 elders of the Holy Land had a stiff expression. Was it seen by outsiders? If rumors spread and the Holy Land incites a group of people for the sake of a heavenly pride level, even inviting the Taichu Divine Bell, then it is likely that the Holy Land will really become a joke. Who said I am a primordial Holy Land, without geniuses? Ning Ye let out a loud shout and walked out of the crowd. Everyone present was taken aback. Where did the silly blue head come out? The disciples below looked silently at Ning Ye. Don't even look at what kind of occasion this is, dare you step out and make a name for yourself. The 2 elders of the Holy Demon Palace laughed heartily. A person with innate duality, like an ant, has also jumped out and become bigger. There is no one in the Holy Land. The disciples of the Holy Land couldn't bear to stare and felt ashamed. Chen Ran also sneered, no big or small, it's too unruly. I'll lose face as a Holy Land. Faced with the formidable enemy of the Holy Demon Palace, even his arrogant level dared not show his face. A mere congenital duality, where does one have the confidence to go out and pretend? Child, go back and don't show off. The elder Chuangong casually brushed his hand and wanted to send Ning Ye back to the crowd. Unexpectedly, Ning Ye was as stable as a rock, standing in place, yet motionless. Ha! Elder Chuangong's eyes showed a strange color. Ning Ye's resounding and powerful voice echoed throughout the audience. Elders! Yesterday's vision arose because of me, and my talent has awakened. I earnestly request that the primordial divine bell be tested. Ha ha ha, the kid has good courage, then. Die. The two members of the Holy Demon Palace made a lightning attack, intending to kill Ning Ye. Killing in my holy land, what a coward. Elder Chuangong immediately stood in front of Ning Ye and protected the child. The 9 elders also erupted in fierce power. In a chaotic situation. Ning Ye's eyes were calm as she whispered, innate chaos dominant body, fusion. Roaming and rumbling an immeasurable and majestic power roared and exploded within Ning Ye's body, sweeping through the 8 extraordinary meridians with boundless divine power. Click. Above the 9 heavens. Thunderstorms surge, the sun and moon tremble. A sage's phantom appeared one after another on the sea of clouds for thousands of miles, where Ning Ye was in the Qi dynasty, bowing and worshipping. The 9 elders of the Holy Land, the 2 elders of the Holy Demon Palace, and all the disciples present were all shocked and spoke out in shock. What happened? At this point. Suddenly, there was another immortal light, meandering for thousands of miles. Unexpectedly, there was a phantom of the great emperor walking from the end of the void, gazing at the location of Ning Ye. Immediately after, another great emperor arrived from the sky, looking at Ning Ye and nodding to signal. Then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th statues in an instant, the virtual shadows of the 9 great emperors appeared together, reflecting on the void and blocking the sky and sun. That's the Heavenly Emperor. Extremely sublimated, once beheaded several foreign emperors' realm extreme Taoist masters. And there's that one, that's the arrogant emperor. The unparalleled emperor who lived against 3 generations and overshadowed 3 eras. The elders took a deep breath and were all shocked. The Dragon Emperor, the Blood Sea Emperor, the Void Emperor. All have arrived. Oh my God, there is actually a heavenly emperor approaching the dust. How could this be? The 2 elders of the Holy Demon Palace were shocked and pale. They cast incredible gazes at Ning Ye. Worship of all saints. The emperors reflect on the void. What kind of demon-level talent is needed to trigger such an incredible phenomenon? At this moment, Ning Ye is emitting purple light and exuding a chaotic atmosphere. The majestic divine radiance gushes out continuously from within. 9 divine lights surround Ning Ye. In a divine light, Kunpeng roams and swallows the sky in reverse. In a divine light, the Tao bell rings long, and the lingering charm startles the sky. In a divine light, the dragon hovers in the sky, proudly gazing at the sky. In a divine light, the immortal spear pierced through the sky, and the divine king's blood flowed. Ning Ye was surrounded and enveloped by surging divine powers. Magnificent momentum, soaring into the clouds, all 10 directions are startled. Dongxing Dao Yu. All the strong ones were startled and coincidentally turned towards the direction of the Taichu Holy Land, looking together from afar. Where was Tianwu born, and how could he be so powerful and impressive? The endless sea of chaos, intertwined with laws, and vast roads like clouds, is at least a taboo-level demon genius. The 10 strong ones are all shocked. After 30,000 years, will Taichu Holy Land once again regain its glory? Could it be that another golden age is approaching? Taichu Holy Land. The 2 elders of the Holy Demon Palace have seen a surge in killing opportunities. 9 divine forms, this son is actually the heavenly overlord. In legend, the physical body has no twin body, and at the moment of completion, it can be called the Emperor's fighting god body. He can't grow up. If this demon becomes a deity, the Holy Land will surely rise again, not the blessing of the Holy Demon Palace. The two exchanged glances and now they have a chance to kill this person. Even if one cannot escape death in the future and can solve a major problem for the Holy Demon Palace, one will still die without regret. Kill. The two of them shouted angrily and just uttered a word. Puff. Puff. A big hand flew across the air, as if killing two flies, smashing them into the void on the spot, turning them into two fists of blood. What kind of local chickens, tiles, and dogs come to my holy land to shout and fight? The figure in white stood with his hands down, his tall body like a divine spear, and his aura filled the sky. See the Supreme Leader. Chapter 4. Establishing Taoist Identity. The Ninth Sun Challenge. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Gu Baiyi, the leader of the Holy Land, is a powerful figure in the realm of all laws. Every move is full of supreme authority. He gazed at Ning Ye, his eyes flashing with a rare heat. The pilgrimage of all saints, the rise of emperors in the sky, and the emergence of divine forms, all three great phenomena of heaven and earth appear together, which is simply unheard of and rare in talent. At this point, over the Holy Land, a strange ancient world emerges, and loud laughter spreads. Ha ha ha, there is another immortal pride in my Holy Land. In the cracks of the ancient world, one can vaguely see a series of road tombs. With a loud thunderclap, the tomb was torn apart, and the golden coffin clanged open. An ancient and powerful figure walked out of the coffin, sweeping across the scene with a majestic presence. Even the Supreme Leader Gu Baiyi couldn't help but change color. Elder Tai. Everyone turned pale, and the Supreme Elder was also startled and walked out of the Tao tomb. However, this is just the beginning. Tombs and graves, one after another, are opening up. 19 consecutive Supreme Elders walked out of the Tao tomb one after another. The surging and ferocious aura of ancient times, like an ancestral dragon facing dust, overwhelms the entire scene. Chaos energy surrounds the body, accompanied by 9 divine forms. It's great, it's the legendary invincible divine body. God bless my holy land. In this life, the Holy Land of the primordial era will once again dominate the current world and restore its former glory. The high-ranking officials greedily stared at Ning Ye, dancing excitedly with tears in their smiles. Seeing that Ning Ye was still awakened, the nobles nodded in admiration, all restrained their own breath, afraid of disturbing Ning Ye's breakthrough. The 9 elders are all dumbfounded. Who could imagine that these once invincible giants of a certain era would be so careful, just to not disturb a boy with innate double cultivation? Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask Ning Ye if his physical condition is? The Supreme Leader's heart was itching uncontrollably, wanting to confirm his speculation. Baiyi, you guessed it right. This son is a congenital chaotic tyrant, even if it is taboo Tianjiao, it is not enough to describe his talent. A voice appeared without warning to Gu Baiyi's ear. Gu Baiyi suddenly turned back and said, "Old. How did you come, ancestor?" Hula. Everyone knelt down in unison, except for Ning Ye who stood still, like a crane standing in a flock of chickens. See our ancestors. Taichu Lao Zu's eyes fell on Ning Ye. At this moment, Ning Ye's divine power was immense, breaking through 3 realms in a blink of an eye and stepping into the peak of the innate 5 levels. His physical body has undergone a complete transformation, surpassing the 6 months of hard work of the arrogant gods. Indeed, it is an innate chaotic powerhouse. Ancestor Taichu, laughing from the sky, his voice shaking the fields. My decree. From now on, Ning Ye will be granted the title of Holy Land Taoist, and I will personally teach and practice it. 2 months later, the Holy Land will hold a grand coronation ceremony. We welcome all parties to come and congratulate us, and join us in the grand event. As soon as these words were spoken, the head of the sect, Gu Bai, the 9 elders, and all the high-ranking officials changed their expressions. Grandfather, please take back your life. Ancestor Jiang Yunlong's eyes darkened. Boom. A supreme power overwhelms the entire field, and the void makes a resounding sound, as if it is not enough to carry the divine power of our ancestors. Everyone present was like a light shining on their backs, covered in cold, and they felt that their entire bodies were about to be scared out. The ancestral aura is too terrifying. Except for Ning Ye, almost everyone else is suffocating. However, even so, the 9 elders still insist on. Grandfather, please think twice. Although the innate chaotic hegemon is strong, how can he stand at the forefront of the storm and become a target of public criticism before becoming a Taoist? The 9 elders are not against Ning Ye's path, but rather worried that Ning Ye would encounter a disaster of no recklessness due to her status as a Taoist. Dare you target me as the Holy Land Taoist? Does being an old man not exist? Ancestor Jiang Yunlong, the founder of the primordial era, sounded like a bell, shaking 3,000 realms. Listen to me. I am a holy Taoist, not afraid of challenges from the same generation. But if there are those who are old enough to not die, don't be shameless or identify, and bully the small with the big, then don't blame me, Jiang Yunlong, for launching another battle of extreme Tao. Kill him, and heaven and earth will overturn, and heaven and earth will collapse. No one can think of it well. This statement startled all 3,000 realms. The ancestor of the primordial Holy Land is the famous, Great Demon King. Once in a fit of anger, he launched the Battle of Jidao with his own strength, almost causing the border and sea to collapse. In the end, the current emperor personally intervened and managed to calm the anger of the Great Demon King, resolving this extreme battle of millions of corpses and countless powerful warriors. Once you think about it, the old and powerful figures of great influence, as well as the revitalizing stone-level experts, feel awe-inspiring. The original intention was to strangle the power of the Holy Land Taoist, but they couldn't help but dispel their thoughts. Too fierce. It is unimaginable how talented this Taoist is to be able to make a great demon king launch a battle of extreme Tao. That's settled then. Ning Ye is the Taoist and I will personally guide him. Jiang Laozu hammered the nail on the head. Master Gu Bai, the Grand Preceptors, and the 9 elders have no further objections. At this point, the Holy Land is scattered in all directions, with 4 powerful auras rising into the sky, stirring the sky. That is the 4th of the 9 holy sons of the Holy Land. The 9 great sages are the strongest and most promising among the heavenly pride of the Holy Land, with the highest potential to challenge the position of Taoist. I didn't expect that before it was their turn to compete, the Tao already belonged. A boy with innate abilities is also qualified to be a Taoist. Above a towering mountain peak. A blood-eyed young man with a sharp temperament, his eyes blazing with anger, and his fighting spirit surging. This is the 9th Saint Hongba, who became a Taoist 10 years ago and was conferred the title of saint. He is determined to make progress and strive to elevate his status and challenge himself to the position of a Taoist. Unexpectedly, my beard was cut off. Hongbo felt unwilling and declared war. The only way to block the road is through one battle. Ning Ye. In 10 days, when your realm is stable, I will open up on the chaotic ancient battlefield and fight against you. The proud voice of the 9th son resounds through the holy land of the primordial. The crowd suddenly changed color. Saint Hongba, with a pair of ancient blood eyes, full of vitality, and invincible divine courage. His cultivation has reached the realm of true spirit. Jiang Laozu looked at Ning Ye. You can be given status and resources. But how to persuade others requires you to do it yourself. Do you want to take on the challenge? If someone helps me succeed, I naturally have no reason to refuse. Ning Ye smiled slightly and directly challenged. The disciples were in an uproar. The 9 elders were surprised in their hearts. Ancestors and leaders, indulging the Holy Sun to challenge, do they want to treat the Holy Suns as the sharpening stones of the Tao? Ning Ye, you come with me. Jiang Laozu waved his hand and immediately moved the sky and the ground, and the two disappeared. Over the Holy Land. The powerful and domineering ideas from various forces and elites intertwine here. There's no way, the awakening of Ning Ye is so shocking that they can't help but be curious. Worship of all saints, emperors reflecting on the void, 9 great divine forms soaring into the sky, and 3 great abyss of heaven and earth, appearing one after another. It's an unprecedented miracle. As a result, the uproar caused by Ning Ye not only did not dissipate with his departure, but also continued to spread and ferment everywhere, sweeping the entire 3,000 realms. Chapter 5. Breaking through 5 realms. Great perfection of divine treasure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Buzz. Ning Ye appears in a space. This is a transformation from the outside, with surging spiritual energy and surging divine power. Jiang Laozu had no great demonic demeanor at all, but instead, like a kind senior, he smiled and said to Ning Ye. Ning Ye, the practice of the 3,000 realms, excluding the acquired and innate changes of the physical body, is divided into the 10 great realms of transformation in the 9 heavens of divine destiny. The 4 major realms of Shenzong, Kohai, Ligong, and Junlin are all based on the foundation of Shenzong realm. The divine realm is divided into 5 sub-realms, corresponding to the strengthening of the 5 major organs. The divine treasures of the heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. Corresponding to fire, wood, earth, metal, and water in the 5 elements. Ning Ye, I will pass on your cultivation method of the divine Song realm now, and strive to achieve it to challenge the peak and extreme realm of the divine Song. It takes several months to complete the enhancement of the 5 great treasures, even if it is a top-notch genius. This still has a lot of resources, with open supply. However, unexpectedly, Ning Ye's breakthrough was much faster than Jiang Yunlong had anticipated. I saw Ning Ye's slight movement and thoughts, her heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys shining brightly together. Heart God Collection, enhancement completed. The divine treasure of the liver, enhancement completed. Spleen's divine treasure, enhancement completed. The divine treasure of the lungs, completed with enhancement. Kidneys divine treasure, enhancement completed. In the blink of an eye. Ning Ye's 5 organs and 6 viscera are clear inside and outside, and not stained with lead. The 5 realms of divine treasure, instantly breaking through to the realm of perfection. Is this a breakthrough? Even Jiang Laozu, who has seen a lot and knowledge, can't help but be stunned at this moment. At this moment, Ning Ye's 5 internal organs are shining brightly, with the power of the 5 elements blending into one breath, and the 5-colored divine light is steaming. The 5 great treasures have reached their perfect state without any hidden dangers. Even if Jiang Yunlong had broken through the 5 realms of divine treasures back then, he may not have been as perfect as Ning Ye is now. Ning Ye, although you have achieved success in the divine treasure realm, don't rush to continue breaking through. I will make some preparations and strive to help you reach the peak of the divine treasure realm within a month. If successful, it will bring you endless benefits. Each realm is divided into 5 stages. Xiaocheng, Zhongcheng, Desheng, Fulfillment, and Peak Extreme Realm. Attacking the peak and extreme realm, once successful, can trigger the Heavenly Tao induction and descend the Heavenly Tao Divine Power reward. Continuing. Jiang Laozu threw a quaint and mysterious token. The 3 twisted ancient characters, Tianwu Zhu, on top shine brightly, while the Tao entangles itself. In the heavenly martial treasure, there are 3 drops of immortal beast true blood, which are infinitely useful for consolidating your realm and awakening your divine form. Remember to go and retrieve them. I have written it down. Grandfather, I have something to ask for. Ning Ye Dao. Jiang Yunlong couldn't help but smile. He had already noticed that Ning Ye seemed to have something on his mind. You say. Ning Ye revealed the situation of his younger brothers and sisters comprehensively. I thought it would cause trouble for my ancestor, but to my surprise, he not only showed no impatience, but also showed more appreciation and importance to Ning Ye. A path that values emotions and righteousness is a great good thing for both him and the Holy Land. Leave this matter to me, I will personally arrange it. You can practice with peace of mind. Jiang Laozu waved his hand and sent Ning Ye to the exclusive Qilin Hall of Daozi. Brother Haotian, Jiang Yunlong suddenly said. What's up? Jiang Yunlong walked out of the void behind him with a black shadow. He has an introverted breath, his body twisted and ethereal, as if he doesn't belong to this world. I'm leaving for a few days, please take a look at Gu Ningye's child more. Jiang Yunlong bowed to the black shadow. You and I are one, there's no need for that. Are you planning to go to the universe? Jiang Yunlong nodded and smiled happily, saying. The Taoist in my family is so prestigious, and as an ancestor, I naturally need to put in some effort to prepare and help him step into the extreme realm in one fell swoop. Qixi Peak. 2 blood dragons, 100 zhang long, perched on the peak of blood. Suddenly, the blood dragons opened their dragon eyes together and looked down the mountain. Who is it? Brother Hong, it's me. Yang Long, the 8th saint, looked up at the 2 blood dragons with strange eyes. Come on up. Blood dragon spits out human words and releases Yang dragon up the mountain. At the cliff. The 9th sage Hongba sat cross-legged with Lingxia circling around her body. In the depths of his eyes, there were 2 seas of blood, as if infinite corpses were floating and sinking in them. Brother Yang, do you have any advice? We probably don't have much friendship, do we? Hongbo was indifferent and down to earth, not optimistic about his nominal senior brother Yang Long. Yang Long felt looked down upon and a hint of anger flashed through his eyes. But thinking of the purpose of this trip, he suppressed his anger and sneered. Junior brother, Ning Ye has the help of Daozi and elders. You are alone and unable to stand alone. However, some people admire you very much, junior brother. If you can join her, perhaps we can calculate on Ning Ye and drag him down from his position as a Taoist. It's not necessary. Hongbo waved his hand and interrupted, coldly saying. I and Ning Ye are in a struggle of willpower, limited to the 2 of us. If I lose, I will be convinced of Ning Ye and recognize his position as a Taoist. But using inferior means, calculating my own junior brother, and using some tricks outside of the game is a complete villainous behavior, and there will be no good outcome. Yang's senior brother should act on his own. I still need to practice. If I can finish my words, I won't be far away. At the foot of the mountain. Yang Long looked surprised, not expecting Hongbo to be so proud. Thinking of the other person's contempt, he couldn't help but have a grim expression. Fool. Ning Ye has the support of his ancestors. Who are you, and you still want to fight against them? Hongba, this son is not enough to succeed. It seems that we still need to find that woman to work together. A chill flashed in Yang Long's eyes. My eternal oven seal only needs to refine one more layer of immortal beast essence and blood to achieve great success. It's better to go to the heavenly martial treasure and exchange the drop of immortal beast essence and blood for it first. Tianwu Treasure Vault. Yang Long arrived at the palace gate, his face slightly changed. In front of the gate of the treasure hall, 9 guardians are in full readiness. Above them, there is an elderly man with long beard sitting cross-legged, majestic like a deity. The disciples who came to exchange treasures trembled and dared not look directly. Tianwu old man. The actual controller of Tianwu treasure, how did he come? Yang Long couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Did he know that my divine skill was about to be perfected and came specifically to wait for me? No, I'm just here to exchange that drop of immortal beast's true blood. There's no need for such a big show, right? How could it still disturb Tianwu old man and personally come to greet him? Ha ha ha. Yang Long's mouth curved upwards, and his vanity felt an unprecedented satisfaction. Tianwu old man is really discerning. Yang Long came to the entrance of the treasure trove in high spirits. On the vast gate door, several hundred zhang high and 200 zhang wide, the infinite law converges into a galaxy vortex. Any disciple of the Taichu Holy Land can receive the Tianwu Xingsha reward by throwing the treasure into the vortex. The higher the quality of the treasure, the more Tianwu Xingsha you will receive. Accumulate to a certain amount, and you can exchange the advanced treasures inside with Tianwu Xingsha. Yang Long came this time to accumulate enough Tianwu Xingsha, intending to exchange for a drop of immortal beast true blood. As soon as Yang Long's eyes were hot, he buried his head and rushed towards the treasure trove. Wait a minute. Tianwu old man suddenly changed his face and stopped drinking. Chapter 6. Entering the heavenly martial treasure for the first time. The shock of Tianwu old man. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Yang Long paused in his footsteps and glared at Tianwu old man with displeasure. But he found that Tianwu old man didn't even look at him, but instead stared at the entrance of the palace. Ning Ye's figure appeared at the door. It's the Taoist priest newly granted by our ancestors. Oh, it's only been a while since we last saw each other. Is the Daozi divine treasure realm fully filled? The disciples present couldn't help but look at each other in surprise. This cultivation speed seems a bit fast. Yang Long looked at Ning Ye from head to toe, and a hint of disdain flashed in his eyes. It's just a mere realm of divine treasures, with little cultivation. What are you meddling in the heavenly martial treasure? People with insufficient strength, even if they enter the Tianwu treasure, they will be thrown out of it after just a few breaths of wandering. Tianwu old man looked at Ning Ye and paused in his heart. With his eyesight and perception, he couldn't see through this young man at all. His gaze fell on the token in Ning Ye's hand. On the quaint token, the three ancient and clumsy characters, Tianwu Zhu, have an extraordinary demeanor and are not like ordinary things. Tianwu old man's face changed. Where did you get this token? Are you questioning me? Ning Ye's eyes were slightly cold as he said, when my ancestor gave me the token, he didn't tell me to tell anyone or anything. His eyes were indifferent, and a peerless and domineering aura, as powerful as a prison, gradually spread. The old man Tianwu's heart trembled and he said, I dare not, I have violated the rule. Tianwu old man swallowed his saliva to himself and smiled bitterly in his heart. No wonder that the great demon king caught his eye. The two of them are really the same kind of domineering. Just the divine treasure realm, this kid actually has a trace of authority no less than Jiang Yunlong. Your Highness, it was my impoliteness to see the heavenly martial ancestors order again after a gap of 30,000 years. I was shocked for a moment and only then did I lose my composure. Come on, please enter the treasure trove first. What are you still doing in a daze, clearing the scene? The Taoist is approaching the heavenly martial treasure, and no one is allowed to enter and disturb without permission. Everyone, leave the main hall. Why let him go first? Senior Tianwu, I agreed to go first. Yang Long looked bewildered. He is about to exchange the true blood of the immortal beast, why should Ning Ye go first? He is Daozi, is he amazing? Senior, we are all disciples of the Holy Land, so there is no need to make any special arrangements. If you have urgent matters, you can come first. Ning Ye smiled and waved his hand, not caring. His humility made all the disciples present polite. Your Highness, our matter is not as important as yours. Please treat us first. That's it. Let's go first, we're not short of time. Everyone knows that in 10 days, Dozi will face a challenge with the 9th Holy Sun. But Yang Long doesn't care about these. Immortal Beast's true blood is a first-class treasure. In case someone else takes the lead, he will have no place to cry. Since the way is open, then I'll go first. Yang Long buried his head and rushed towards the treasure trove. Bold. You step back first. Tianwu old man waved his hand and Yang Long was sent to the crowd, away from the Tianwu vortex. Yang Long is so angry. Fortunately, I made some moves in advance and hid the drop of immortal beast's true blood. Without my unique means, no one could have found it. Yang Long secretly felt fortunate in his heart. Daozi, please. Tianwu old man said. Ning Ye comes to the entrance of the vortex. The closer you are to the Tianwu treasure trove, the more active the chaotic body becomes. It seems like there is some chance waiting for him inside. Yang Long maliciously urged. Hurry up, okay. Ning Ye, you're not afraid to enter, are you? Brush. Ning Ye stepped into the Tianwu whirlpool, but disappeared in a flash. The disciples were all curious. You say, how long can Daozi stay? His cultivation is only in the realm of suffering, should he stay for at most 10 breaths. The 9 guardians looked curiously at Tianwu old man and said, how long do you think Daozi can stay? Tianwu old man did not answer. He is accustomed to speaking with facts, waving his hand and saying, see for yourself. Buzz. On the entrance portal, the Tianwu vortex temporarily disappeared, and the vast portal transformed into a completely transparent state. The image inside the treasure trove suddenly appeared in front of everyone. I saw the way. What a calm pace. Daozi's walking is so handsome. Fool, quickly calculate the time for Daozi and see how long he can stay. I bet. Above 20%, below 30%. The disciples' eyes lit up. Yang Long prayed frantically in his heart, don't find the true blood of the immortal beast. Don't find it, it's my most important resource. In the heavenly martial treasure. Ning Ye caught the eye, and everywhere was a vast expanse of white. That is the majestic and surging spiritual energy of this world, so rich that it liquefies into a mist state. Ning Ye looked far and wide, only to see divine stars floating and sinking in the vast white mist. Every big star hides a rare treasure, shining brightly and untouchable. Ning Ye is about to move forward. From all directions, there was overwhelming pressure rushing towards him. The surging force of rejection envelopes Ning Ye, driving him out of this realm space. It's starting. Daozi is about to be kicked out of the heavenly martial treasure. The faces of the disciples changed slightly. In less than 5 breaths, the path is too short, isn't it? Pass it on. Daozi stayed very short. Pass it on, the passage time is very short. Pass it on, the path is very short. At the moment when Ning Ye sensed the repulsive force, the chaotic airflow around her body turned. In an instant, repulsive forces from all directions swept across the air. The overwhelming repulsive force is all absorbed and evolved by the chaotic body, becoming a part of its own energy. Ning Ye walked steadily forward, as if strolling through the backyard. Outside the Tianwu treasure, the pot suddenly exploded. It's been 30 minutes now. How could the Tao last so long? The repulsion of the treasure trove cannot stop Daozi's footsteps at all. The disciples are somewhat incredulous. How could it be? Daozi is so relaxed that he has entered the 3rd area. Someone exclaimed in surprise, their eyes filled with disbelief. The Tianwu treasure vault is divided into 9 major regions from the outside to the inside. The deeper you go into the area, the more precious and rare the treasure becomes, and the more terrifying its repulsion naturally becomes. Most disciples can only barely wander in the first 3 areas. Yang Long's ability to enter and exit the 4th area is already considered very strong. However, Ning Ye seemed to stroll through her backyard and passed by the 3rd area. It's too easy, the 4th area. My immortal beast essence and blood are hidden there. Yang Longqi raised her throat and became nervous. That drop of Qilin's true blood was placed under special prohibition by me, making it difficult to detect even in the true spiritual realm, let alone a mere divine possession. Junlin secretly calculated to himself. This drop of Qilin blood is of great importance to him, but don't let Ning Ye find it. In the treasure trove. Ning Ye actually sensed that the energy fluctuations in a certain area were not right. But he didn't rush to flip through and continued moving forward. He didn't notice. Junlin's eyes lit up and he said, Ning Ye, this big fool, missed the treasure without realizing it. Dao Zi is not that big of a deal, it's not just a plan to hit me. Chapter 7. Longqi spits blood. Chaos Sword Child. Killer Shenchao. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the treasure trove. Ning Ye has entered the 5th district, with a relaxed expression in flowing clouds and water. The disciples were amazed one after another. Even the 9 guardians were surprised at this moment. They had never seen a young disciple so easily stepping into the 5th district before. And don't forget, Daozi only has the divine hidden realm. It's simply outrageous. In the 5th district. Ning Ye suddenly remembered something. The ancestor mentioned 3 drops of true blood from immortal beasts. Where are they? Why haven't you seen them? At this moment. Mutations arise suddenly. Innate. With a dragon roar and a blue aura, it flew towards the deepest part of the 5th region. This blue light is ferocious and ever-changing, and when it reaches Ning Ye, it turns into a phantom of a green dragon. The 9 guardians changed their faces and said, not good, protect the Tao quickly. Don't be impatient. Tianwu old man stopped everyone. I saw the blue dragon phantom flying in front of Ning Ye, but suddenly stopped and automatically revealed its true form. A drop of true blood twisted and coiled, like a small dragon, surrounded by true dragon runes, shining with divine light and flying with spiritual charm. It's a drop of Qinglong's true blood. Ning Ye's eyes lit up slightly. The first drop of immortal beast's true blood was unexpectedly delivered to the door automatically. That's too thoughtful. Ning Ye raised her hand and brought it into the space of the Styx river. The joy had not yet dissipated when another melodious and anxious roar came, and the red divine fire engulfed the sky and earth, sweeping towards them. A red phoenix emerged from bathing in the fire, transforming into a drop of fiery red true blood, obediently hanging in front of Ning Ye. Well, it's red phoenix's true blood, and I've also received the second drop. Ning Ye's eyes lit up slightly. Outside the treasury. Junlin's face was ugly, and he suddenly had a bad premonition. And everyone's eyes were full of surprise. Will the 2 immortal beasts automatically cast their true blood? Has Daozi's talent been conquered even by immortal beasts? At this moment, Tianwu old man's eyes were excited and his hands trembled. He once heard from his senior colleagues that only strong individuals with imperial qualifications have a chance to be recognized by immortal beasts and spiritual objects, and actively participate. Any such heavenly pride is a top-level demon that can charge towards the imperial road. Oh, I clearly remember that there is still a drop of immortal beast's true blood in the 4th district, why haven't I seen it? The old man Tianwu frowned. At this point. In the 4th district, suddenly purple air surged into the sky. A purple flame shrouded auspicious beast Qilin, shrouded in divine light, shot towards Ning Ye. The 3rd drop of immortal beast's true blood, Kirin's blood, get it. Ning Ye waved her hand. 3 drops of immortal beast's true blood, flowing into the space of the Styx river, hovering above the endless sea of blood, shimmering with precious light. Puff. Junlin is about to vomit blood. He put in a lot of effort to hide this drop of Qilin true blood, but it all went to waste. The Qilin blood automatically flew towards Ning Ye. My peerless seal has become difficult. Without the help of the Kirin technique contained in the true blood of the Kirin, the eternal oven seal cannot be achieved in a short period of time. Junlin lost his soul and left the main hall. He had cold hands and feet, and his eyes were fierce. The immortal beast's true blood, which can only be exchanged after accumulating for several years, was taken away by Ning Ye with a wave of his hand. I am not willing to accept it. A black shadow silently flashed beside Yang Long. Your Highness, I would like to invite my wife. Your wife? Who is she? The sage contacted my wife before, please come with me. In the heavenly martial treasure. Ning Ye suddenly looked at a corner and said, I've found you. There was a strange aura hidden there that fascinated Ning Ye, and the chaotic body also operated more happily. Surrounded by chaotic energy, there was a feeling of excitement, as if sending some kind of signal to Ning Ye. Ning Ye's eyes lit up and she stepped forward. Outside the treasure trove, Tianwu old man and the guardians looked curious. What did Daozi discover again? Is there anything there? Why don't I remember? Ning Ye arrived at the corner and found a pile of garbage and debris piled up. It's covered in dust. Tianwu frowned and said, how could there be dust? There are 2 micro dust formations in the Tianwu treasure trove, which automatically clean at any time. There shouldn't be dust like this. Ning Ye waved her hand casually and with a puff, the debris in the corner suddenly turned into powder. There is only a long strip of stone left in place. That stubborn stone. Didn't it get thrown away? Why is it still here? Tianwu old man has a strange expression. This is a long stone shaped like a sword embryo, covered with dense and tiny pores like cow hair, as if it were eaten by insects and ants. Apart from its sword-like shape, it gives people a feeling of no uniqueness. Even the heavenly martial old man, who had never sensed anything special from it at the beginning, directly disposed of it as garbage. Why is it still in the treasure trove? I found you. Ning Ye smiled and picked up the mysterious stone bar. The moment when the stone bar is picked up, wisps of chaotic energy suddenly surged out of his body and merged into the mysterious stone bar in an instant. Buzz. The mysterious stone suddenly shook and for a moment, endless chaotic energy surged into the sky. Chaos runes were like divine clouds, instantly enveloping its entire body. A surging thought flooded into Ning Ye's mind. Surprisingly, it's a legendary Chaos Sword child. Ning Ye was greatly surprised. Chaos Sword embryo, according to legend, was born before the opening of heaven and earth. It was formed by the interweaving of chaotic energy and a large amount of chaotic matter, resulting in the first strand of sword energy between heaven and earth, and condensed into a chaotic sword embryo. It is said that this object can give birth to a tool for killing immortals and gods. Getting the nourishment of chaos chi, this chaos sword body has 108,000 chaos holes around its body, like breathing, quickly drilling into and out of chaos chi. Chaos sword child, born as a treasure of chaos. Ning Ye was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect such a top-notch product to be thrown into the corner of the treasure trove like garbage, with no one discerning and giving him a free price. In the main hall of the Gu family, the fragrance lingers, and the sandalwood fragrance lingers. A middle-aged beautiful woman with a stunning figure and beautiful eyebrows and eyes, with a fierce and ferocious expression flashing between her eyebrows. The position of Daozi should have belonged to my shower. Just a lowly embryo, how can he be a Taoist? Where's the heavenly court killer? Why haven't you come to see me yet? Gu Shue's heart was restless like fire, and her expression was fierce, destroying a stunning face. A shadow quietly appeared in the void behind her. Madam Gu, I have come. Gu Shue sternly questioned, 300,000 divine sources. This is a sky-high reward. Your heavenly court claims to be one of the 3 great god-slaying dynasties, why haven't you taken on my mission? Mysterious shadow shakes its head. What you want to kill is the Holy Land Daozi, and it's also covered by Jiang Yunlong, the great demon king. The mysterious dark figure chuckled and said, although my heavenly court accepts all tasks, I haven't gone crazy enough to confront that great demon king. The Holy Land of Yunlong, with his notorious artillery temper, has a power that has been destroyed by him in a fit of anger. There are not even 100, but also 90. It's an unknown whether the Heavenly Court assassin organization can escape a disaster, which has angered him. 500,000 divine sources. As long as you kill that lowly embryo, I'll give you 500,000. Gu Shuesher gritted his teeth and spoke in an authentic manner. She can mobilize 300,000 divine resources for the Gu family. For the sake of her son Gu Chongshao, if she doesn't want to go to her mother's house again, she will cry back to 200,000. Chapter 8. Kunji Divine Form. Speed Divine Power. The first battle begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Madam Gu, don't waste your efforts. Your mission, the 3 major assassins' divine dynasties, no one dares to take it. The mysterious shadow refused decisively without even hesitation. Mrs. Gu doesn't understand. It's not even about money. The Tao is related to the future of a power. The Tao of a murderer is a great revenge that cuts off people's future and never dies, more serious than digging ancestral graves. Once there is an opportunity for murder, all major forces will join forces and never allow organizations that threaten the future to exist. Assassin Shenchao dares to take the risks of the world today and kills Daozi Ning Ye. Tomorrow, he will be uprooted by the joint efforts of various holy places. Madam Gu, you intend to assassinate the Holy Land Daozi. If it is rumored, even the Gu family cannot protect you. However, madam, rest assured that I will help you keep this secret. Goodbye. The mysterious black shadow disappeared in a flash. Gu Shui was stunned. She just wants to fight for her son Gu Chongshao and regain the position of Daozi. Is that all that difficult? See madam. Yang Long arrived at the main hall and found that Mrs. Gu's expression was not very pleasant. Gu Jia is skilled in refining weapons and has great wealth, making him one of the ancient aristocratic families in the Dongxingdao domain. The previous generation of the Gu family had an unparalleled Tianjiao like Gu Bai, who ruled the Taichu Holy Land for thousands of years. And this generation of the Gu family has produced 2 great geniuses, Gu Chongshao and Gu Xuanqin. The former was born with supreme blood, and at the age of only 19, he became the first saint of the primordial Holy Land. And Gu Xuanqin is also a genius in refining weapons. At the age of 6, he comprehended the great treasure refining technique. Now, refining weapons is like frying beans, earning a huge amount of wealth for the Gu family. And what Yang Long is afraid of is Gu Shui, this crazy woman. She not only has a Gu family background, but also comes from the Shui family, with an extraordinary family background and a ruthless style of behavior. I heard that the drop of immortal beast's true blood that you were interested in was stolen by someone. Gu Shui raised her eyebrows and eyes. She has a proud figure and a curvaceous figure that is eye-catching. Although she is in her early 30s, her voice is delicate and exuding charm. Yang Long swallowed his saliva to himself and his heart trembled. This was just what happened, and she knew it. It seems that Mrs. Gu's hand is really long, even the Tianwu treasure has her eyes. Continuing. Gu Shui's white wrist flickered. A ray of rosy light flew towards Yang Long, surging with the essence of woody life, surging and rolling. This is one of the 5 emperors' great demon and divine skills, the Green Emperor's would Emperor merit. Yang Long's heart was pounding wildly. This holy level magical technique is not inferior to his eternal oven seal. It's enough to withstand the loss of your immortal beast's true blood, right? If you want to take it away, you have to do 2 things for me. Time flies, tomorrow will be challenge day. In the Qilin Palace. The rosy glow boiled and energy surged wildly. Ning Ye sat quietly, her eyes slightly closed. Surrounding him was a phantom of a real dragon, above the head, in the shape of a Kunpeng god, fighting against the vast sea. Behind it lies a pair of illusory divine phoenix wings, casting down countless spiritual lights. This is exactly the three major divine forms of the heavenly overlord. Kunji Divine Form, True Dragon Dharma Body, and Divine Phoenix Feather Wings. In these days, Ning Ye has refined 3 drops of immortal beast true blood. I also learned the powerful Kirin technique from the true blood of the Kirin, which has great power. And the other 2 drops of true blood also benefited him greatly from his 3 great divine forms. Suddenly, Ning Ye's eyes suddenly opened, and his pupils flickered with lightning. A Kunpeng rune suddenly flew out of his fingers. A golden Tianpeng, like a beam of light, rapidly hovers in the hall. And Ning Ye stepped on the void, soaring like a celestial peng, with the law of speed circling around him. Due to his speed being too fast, a long string of purple shadows dragged out behind him. Too fast. The remnants behind me are almost unable to keep up with Ning Ye. Kunpeng's divine form, fully awakened. Ning Ye has mastered the speed of Kunpeng. Panlong Palace. The 8th saint, Yang Long, had a twisted face and bloodshot eyes. Shit. The blood light suddenly converged and turned into a bloody flying sword. It is full of blood, with a foul smell, lingering with a pungent aura of blood evil. Those who hold on to their courage, those who starve to their cowardice, it's only your fault, Ning Ye, for blocking too many people's paths. Yang Long used the seal technique to seal the blood sword, and a killing intent flashed in his eyes. Thinking of Gu Shuesher's plump and dripping body, he couldn't help but feel a little thirsty. Tomorrow's chaotic ancient battlefield, Ning Ye, must die. The next morning. Before dawn, the primordial Holy Land boiled up. Disciples of the Holy Land, rushing from all directions to Wangu Peak. When the first ray of sunshine shines on the Wangu Peak, powerful breaths descend from the sky. There are 12 main and deputy main halls, including the Dragon King Hall and the Senluo Hall, which are the sacred sites of Taichu, the leaders of the 11 main peaks, including Lingbao Peak and Blood Kill Peak, as well as the Heavenly Pride. There are senior deacons from 6 departments, including the Intelligence Department and the Resources Department. They gathered at the top of the chaotic ancient peak. Today is the first battle of the Taoist school. Whether Ning Ye can win or not is not the key. With the help of this battle, how to subdue the masses is the real key issue. This determines the popularity of Ning Ye, whether it can achieve the Holy Land's ups and downs, and respond to every call. Boom! 7 elders, led by the Great Elder, descended upon the Wangu Peak. Why are only 7 here? What about the other 2 elders? Everyone was secretly puzzled. Activate the divine formation of protecting the ancestor. The elder ordered. Everyone turned pale. Only when the Holy Land encounters a strong enemy will the Great Patriarch Protection Formation be activated. The amount of resources consumed in one activation is astonishing, equivalent to the consumption of a Supreme Master, who has stopped bleeding for a year. Immediately, the Temple Lords frowned and questioned. Did you take it too seriously? Yeah, it's just a divine realm. Is that necessary? The elder responded without lifting his head. The innate chaos overlord is my hope for the Holy Land to return to its peak. Protecting it is protecting the future of the Holy Land. Before the Tao is formed, no spies or any intelligence on Ning Ye's strength must be leaked. Everyone is listening. This is the first battle of the Taoist school, only observation is allowed, and no record can be made. Anyone who violates this will be regarded as a spy or insider, and will be shot to death. The first row of the observation deck. Yang Long looked indifferent. A mere battle in the divine treasure realm. If it weren't for that crazy woman's mission, would Ning Ye be worthy of being recorded by me? Yang Long's eyes were full of strange radiance, and he tightly grasped the sealed blood sword in his palm. That crazy woman, give him 2 tasks. One is to record Ning Ye's combat intelligence, the other is to seize the opportunity and plot against Ning Ye. However, can that woman really create a mobile phone? Over the Holy Land, a grand formation opens. 10,000 dragon-shaped runes converge into a divine avenue dome, like an inverted giant bowl, enveloping the entire primordial Holy Land. All prying and sneaky thoughts from the outside world are isolated. Boom! The supreme leader, Gu Baiyi, stepped into the air and arrived. Surprisingly, even the supreme leader of the sect personally attended the battle. Everyone was greatly surprised. Who can believe that this is just a battle at the level of the divine hidden realm just by looking at the show? Ning Ye and Hongbo, haven't they arrived yet? I'll come too. On the Red Seal Peak, there was a thunderous roar. A blood dragon arrived from the sky, with a flash of divine light, and a flood appeared on the chaotic ancient arena. Senior Hong's blood pupils are even more powerful. His blood dragon body and speed have also increased significantly, seeming to be comparable to extreme speed. Chapter 9. Yi Junlin's Provocation. Ning Ye takes a move to suppress it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Disciple Hongbo, please refer to the head teacher. Gu Baiyi waved his hand. He had a good impression of Hongbo. I just feel a bit arrogant, I hope I can sharpen my temper this time. Ning Ye, what are you still procrastinating on? Let's mess up Gu Feng. Gu Baiyi was facing Qilin Peak, transmitting a message through the air with a casual tone, as if an elder were calling out to their own descendants. Dear leaders, with a strange expression in their eyes, the leader's preference for Taoism is truly undisguised. Boom! A divine mountain, with majestic Dao Yun soaring into the clouds, and majestic laws like a true dragon soaring into the sky, shaking the void. What an amazing momentum! It is the peak of the third saint's reign. How could it be him? Does Yi Junlin want to grab the spotlight? Everyone was shocked and greatly surprised. The third saint, Yi Junlin, has a natural divine body. At the age of only 18, he reached the astonishing, divine spring realm, which was a whole great realm higher than the saints Hongbo, Yanlong, and others. And its chi luck is also amazing. Not long ago, it just received a supreme blood and is currently being refined in seclusion. Master Gu Baiyi frowned slightly. Is it intentional or unintentional for Yi Junlin to leave the country half a month early? Shit! A tall and majestic figure, with a domineering aura, emerged from the air. Yi Junlin has met the leaders and predecessors. Yi Junlin looked at the chaotic ancient arena. Oh, why is it only senior brother Hong himself? What about our Daozi junior brother? It's not good to have everyone wait for him as a junior, right? Yi Junlin's eyes are not kind. He was in seclusion for 2 months, first refining the supreme blood, and second building momentum to seize the position of Daozi. Unexpectedly, before the dispute began, the Dao had already settled on Ning Ye. This almost made Yi Junlin furious on the spot. He left the customs early to correct this mistake. Even our ancestors have times when they make mistakes. If they make mistakes, they must make things right. Please go to the observation deck. The chaotic old man in charge of controlling the chaotic battlefield has a weathered face and wrinkles, but unfortunately, his hair is black and his eyes are deep. Let's take a look first. What can Ning Ye do? Yi Junlin arrived at the first row of the observation deck. Knowing oneself and the enemy, we will never be defeated in 100 battles. Ning Ye, this stumbling block, will be moved away sooner or later. Boom! Yi Junlin's thoughts were suddenly interrupted by terrifying fluctuations. Over Qilin Peak, a vision swept through, with wind and cloud surging. Amidst the endless divine clouds and rosy light, a giant Kun phantom that covered the sky and sun condensed out. It roared, and spiritual energy from all directions suddenly roared in all directions. In just one moment, the spiritual energy of the entire Holy Land was completely drained by the giant Kun and devoured. Everyone was surprised. Taoist cultivation, what an amazing momentum. In the Qilin Palace, Ning Ye sat in a sitting position. Last night during his practice, he suddenly realized the perfect enlightenment state of Kunji's divine form, which has lasted until now. Strangely, he seemed to be summoned in his dream to enter a special world and converse with a small tomb. How could this be? Is it an illusion? Brush. Ning Ye opened her eyes and her brilliance flashed away. Is it dawn? I almost forgot, I have another battle with Hongbo. Ning Ye rises into the air. Everyone saw a purple light rushing up to the sky of Qilin Peak. Dozi is here, he's so fast. This is Tianpeng's ultimate speed. He actually mastered the path of ultimate speed. Everyone was surprised and their eyes were amazed. A giant Kun phantom, blocking the sky and sun, emerged at the feet of Ning Ye. The giant Kun's wings are like clouds hanging in the sky, holding Ning Ye on his head and gently waving. Brush. Ning Ye flashed over the chaotic ancient peak in an instant. Yi Junlin's eyes lit up, and Ning Ye's speed was even faster than when he arrived. Ning Ye descended from the sky with a rapid figure, dragging out a long trail of shadows in the air. Purple shadows gathered rapidly towards the arena, and in the shimmering purple light, they merged into tall and slender figures of a young man. Ning Ye was dressed in white, standing tall in jade, with calm eyes and a calm demeanor. Sorry for almost delaying this battle and keeping everyone waiting for so long. Ning Ye arched her hand and smiled, giving a feeling of gentleness and tranquility. The lead was washed away without any smoke or fire. Pretend and be hypocritical. In the first row of the observation seat, Yang Long gritted his teeth. Everyone was captivated by Ning Ye's grace. The major leaders of the Holy Land also nodded slightly, and the Taoist image was good, demonstrating a strong talent. No wonder Jiang Laozu took a liking to it. On the arena, Hongbo's expression was somewhat solemn. He couldn't see through Ning Ye's depth. This surprised him greatly, he can surpass the two great realms of Ning Ye. Hongbo has a feeling that this Taoist is probably not a good person. Senior, can we start now? Ning Ye arched his hand and asked the chaotic old man. Can. The chaotic old man immediately waved his hand. Above the arena, there are dense runes that light up one after another. They merged into dragons and pythons, imprinted on the void, and spread rapidly. A space with a length and width of several thousand zhang was immediately isolated. In this space, Ning Ye stood at the foot of the arena, soaring up in mid-air. On the walls of the void, on all sides, a magnified image of the arena is clearly displayed, even the expressions of both sides are displayed. Everyone on the observation platform, no matter how far away they are, can see everything on the arena clearly. The chaotic ancient battlefield has been opened, and there is no objection from both sides. So, should we imprison our cultivation and start this battle? Sure. No problem. Okay. Chaotic ancient battlefield challenge, start. Ning Ye discovered that the aura of the opposite Hongbo was instantly suppressed from the true spirit realm to the divine Song realm. But even so, Hongbo still has the advantage. After all, his years of combat experience cannot be sealed. Everyone is curious, how many chances does Your Highness Daozi have of winning? Thinking too much, Ning Ye has no chance of winning at all. Let's see how long Daozi can last. I hope Hongbo doesn't let Ning Ye lose too quickly. In the first row, Yang Long's eye flickered with a strange light, recording every scene on the arena. Ning Ye's eyes flickered slightly, there's a killing intent. Ning Ye locked onto Yang Long in the first row and said, there's something wrong with his eyes. Ning Ye's eyes lit up as he swept past Yi Junlin, who was also in the first row. Humph, you dare to come and spy on me even in the realm of divine treasure. Get lost. Yi Junlin let out a cold snort, and his fierce momentum shook violently. Boom. The majestic thoughts of Ning Ye were fiercely crushed. Ning Ye immediately withdrew her perception and her face turned cold. If Yi Junlin's counterattack was not dodged in time, it would have dealt a heavy blow to his spirit. In the current war, Yi Junlin's actions are not well intentioned. Yi Junlin. Pay attention to the situation, this is not the place where you act wild. The three elders shouted on the spot. Yi Junlin gave a playful smile and provocatively glanced at Ning Ye. Hiding quite quickly and timid like a mouse, how can we take on the responsibility of reviving the Holy Land? Ning Ye withdrew her killing intent and said to Hongbo. Let's take action. Hongbo was taken aback for a moment, then shook his head and said with a smile, I took advantage of it. It's better for Dao Zi to take action first. He is arrogant and tries his best to maintain fairness in the duel. Okay, be careful. Ning Ye was too lazy to be verbose, raised his hand and rushed out from the air. Buzz. The divine light boils like a thunderbolt, cutting through the heavens and earth. The crowd only saw a flower in front of them, a purple light-shrouded auspicious beast Qilin, sticking out its single claw and firmly pressing Hongbo into the void on the spot, unable to move. Kirin's killing move, Kirin's hand. Chapter 10. Ning Ye's strength. Step on the soles of your feet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This. How could it be? Hongbo was stunned. He struggled hard, trying to break free from confinement, but all in vain. He was completely suppressed by Ning Ye. I can't even dodge in time. You lost. Ning Ye stood in place, carrying two hands on his back and standing tall. He seemed to have never moved, just waved his hand and suppressed the flood in place. Just one move. The whole scene was completely silent. A series of stunned and shocked eyes, after being stunned for a few moments, suddenly reacted and rushed towards Ning Ye in unison. Dozi actually won. The ninth saint lost in seconds. The gap between me and Daozi is so huge. In the heart of Hongbo, turbulent waves roll up. He didn't even have time to use holy tools or even pupillary surgery. It's the fluctuation of Kirin's true blood. Ning Ye relied on the Kirin's true blood, which should have belonged to me, to comprehend the Kirin technique. Yang Long gritted his teeth and had a fierce expression in his eyes. This should have been his chance. It's a bit interesting. Yi Junlin gave a cold smile and said, the power of the Kirin technique is comparable to that of a divine skill. Yi Junlin once saw a celestial pride on Wanlin Mountain and performed this technique. Its ferocious power left a deep impression on Yi Junlin. Was it passed down to him by our ancestors? With such a wonderful technique, it's not passed down to us, but to the small divine realm. It's a waste of heaven. Yi Junlin's chest slightly undulated. Rao, with his mind, also felt anger and jealousy, which naturally arose. My ancestors are so biased and unfair in handling things. Suppressing the opponent with one palm, Daozi's talent is truly unparalleled. All the palace masters and peak masters exclaimed in unison. At the age of 14, having such a strong foundation and talent, becoming a Taoist seems natural. Next, it's time to stand up. Hongbo's provocation is a blow to the dignity of the Taoist school and should be severely punished. If Ning Ye is clever, then it is time to use the opportunity to make a warning to the monkeys and take advantage of it. The leaders whispered in secret. I lost. Ning. Dao Zi, you should waste me. On the arena, Hongbo closed his eyes. He feels like a clown, overestimating himself. Don't say silly things, it's just a sparring. Ning Ye smiled and let go of Hongbo, patting his shoulder. If I had provoked you before, you should have deposed me as a warning to others. This is all I deserve, let's take action. Hongbo was disheartened and ashamed, willing to replace Ning Ye as the chicken that killed chickens and scared monkeys. You and my fellow disciples brothers, how could we have such a big grudge and even deposed you? Are you joking? All the saints, sooner or later, are the power in his hands. Why cut off your own hands and feet? Ning Ye resolutely refused. A gentle voice spread throughout the room, and the disciples were once again amazed. What is a pattern? What is chest? Dozi, this is it. The female disciples with a soft heart immediately had their eyes wet and their hearts fluttering. Dozi is so gentle, Dozi is so handsome. Having such a benevolent and generous way is our blessing. On the contrary, the temple and peak lords frowned greatly and expressed great dissatisfaction. The benevolence of women. There is a saying that kindness does not lead to military affairs, righteousness does not manage finances. The saying is that he has a soft heart and is simply foolish. That's right. Being soft-hearted for a while can lead to future troubles. Our Taoist is too soft-tempered and lacks talent, so it's embarrassing to use him too much. Several peak leaders and temple leaders expressed dissatisfaction. What they need is a domineering Taoist who is full of sharpness and can lead everyone to overcome obstacles. How can a kind-hearted and kind-hearted person compete against other arrogant women in the imperial court? Playing the game of deep brotherhood is a mess. Ning Ye is hypocritical and artificial, you can't deceive everyone. A faint sound, unable to determine its exact location, but unusually clear in everyone's ears. Who is disrespectful to Daozi? If you have the ability, come out and I will kill you. Hongbo was furious. Yang Long's eyes flashed with pride, he couldn't even lock onto me as the head teacher. Why do you still want to discover me? Suddenly, his whole body cooled down, and when he looked up, he saw Ning Ye's eyes staring blankly at him. Yang Long stiffened and said, Daozi, are you? You said it quite happily, didn't you? Ning Ye's eyes were cold and indifferent. Yang Long was shocked and turned pale. He waved his hands repeatedly and loudly distinguished, saying, You're speechless. What's the point of splashing dirty water on me without evidence? You. Do you dare to argue? Get out of here. Ning Ye waved his hand and captured the dragon from the air, directly pulling Yang Long into the chaotic ancient battlefield. Yang Long's two followers immediately shouted, Daozi, what do you want to do? Among the lords of the palace, a man with a white face and no need for hair immediately called out. Daozi must not be rude, let go of Yang Shengzi. The leader and 7 elders glanced lightly at the main hall of the 1,000-hand hall. On the arena. Yang Long stumbled back a few steps, unable to even dodge, and was captured by Ning Ye. How did this little beast do it? Yang Long couldn't help but grip the hidden weapon in his hand, his eyes full of murderous intent. Do you want to take action? Ning Ye stepped out with one foot. Boom! A towering giant foot, breaking open the sky and landing with a loud roar. Above the giant feet, scales lay ferocious and twisted, each one burning with purple Qilin patterns. The purple fire boiled and the divine power bloomed. One of the Kirin techniques, Kirin feet.